So far in our Python programming, we've been able to output information to the user on the screen using print statements. We've done some math. We've also gotten some input from the user. But there's kind of one thing that's been lacking, and that's making decisions. And that's what this lesson is about today. If there's a certain condition, so if something is true, then do this stuff. And you can do this thing too, and there's this unlimited amount of things that you can do in this section. And now if this condition is not true, so otherwise, do this other thing instead. So let's go ahead and write a simple program about it. Now you can vote if you're 19 or older, right? So let's write a program that asks the user how old they are and then tells them whether they can vote or not. So the first thing we're going to need is a variable, and this variable we're going to call age. And we're going to say age is equal to the integer of the input. What is your age? Now, based on what answer they give us for how old they are, we're going to say whether they can vote or not. So if their age is more than or equal to 19, and then we have to put a colon. Now, in other programming languages, if you've programmed before, oftentimes there's a brace here, like that, rather than a colon. But in Python, the way it works is you put a colon, and then when you hit enter, it should be tabbed in. So anything that's tabbed in after this will happen if this is true. So if the age that they give us is more than or equal to 19, then what do we want to do? Well, we want to tell them you can vote. However, if their age is not bigger than or equal to 19, then they're obviously not able to vote. So what we'll do then is we're going to say else, which means under any other condition, any condition other than this one. So if they entered anything less than 19, then we're going to print, sorry, you're too young. Now let's go ahead and run it. So it says, what is your age? So let's say I'm 20 years old, and it says you can vote. And note it didn't put, sorry, you're too young. Now let's run it one more time. I'm just going to say, what is your age? And I'm going to enter an age under 19. So I'll put 18. Sorry, you're too young. Now one last time, just to make sure, what happens if we actually enter the age 19? So it says, what is your age? And I'm going to enter 19. And it says you can vote. So anything 19 and above, you can vote. Anything younger than 19, you can't. So here's a list of comparisons that we have in Python that we can use in our if statements. We have greater than, we have less than, so greater than, less than, we have greater than or equal to, like we used in our example. We have less than or equal to. We also have actually equal to, and notice that you need two equal signs for this. A single equal sign means assign the value from this into this spot. The double equal signs means compare these two things and see if they're equal to each other. And our other comparison is, are these two things not equal to each other? And that's exclamation mark equals sign. Now, whenever we make a decision, we can make it a couple of different ways. So let me show you how we can totally rewrite this program to do the exact same thing, but just differently. What if instead of saying, if the age is greater than or equal to 19, you can vote? What if we said, if the age is less than 19, then we're going to print, you're too young. And otherwise, we're going to print, you're old enough, or you can vote. So if we run it again, what is your age? Well, my age is 19. You can still vote. Okay, so every comparison has an opposite that you can use instead. It just kind of depends on how your brain works and what makes the most logical sense. So I'm just going to do one last example with you, and that's a password check. So what we're going to have is, first we're going to need a correct password. And let's say our correct password is just the word locked. Now we're going to prompt the user to enter a password and see if they are correct. So let's call the password that they're going to enter guess, because they're going to guess what the password is. And so the guess is the input from the user. What is the password? So after they guess, we have to say if the guess is right. In other words, if the guess that they have, that they entered, is equal to the correct password, then we need to do something. Again, don't forget that colon. Then we can say, you are correct. And if they don't enter the right password, so if they enter anything else other than the word locked, they're going to say print, sorry, access denied. Yeah, let's go ahead and run and try it out. What is the password? I'm going to enter the password 123. Hit enter. Sorry, access denied. Let's run it again. It says, what is the password? And we're going to enter the password locked. And it says, you are correct. And one last little note, don't forget if you're comparing two things to see if they're equal to each other, use that double equal sign.